ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome into the show, Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday. It is June 11th, a few days away from the start of the College World Series in Omaha. We'll talk about that a little bit later, as well as into Thursday and Friday's show. Looking forward to that. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you got a question, a comment, a concern, drop it there over the course of the next hour. We'll get to it. Excited about today's show, as we're going to be talking to ECU baseball player Sean Jenkins here in a second. We also will have some discussion later in the program about some transfer portal additions for the Pirates, as ECU has added a couple pitchers and an outfielder. So looking forward to that. We've got Philip Pilkington producing, and let's get to our guest. He is with us, Sean Jenkins, ECU freshman pitcher, just finished up his freshman year. We're going to recap it now on the show. Sean was with us during the regular season a few times in studio. Now he's back home for a few weeks. Sean, how's it going, man? How you enjoying the early stages of your offseason?
It's been good so far. Thank you for having me, Stephen.
Absolutely. And a chance to reset a little bit, although we kind of talked about it pre-show. There's never really any downtime when you're working to get better, man. So we got a lot to discuss with that and just kind of your goals this offseason. We also got a lot of questions from fans we'll get to over the course of your time with us, man. But just let's address your freshman season from a broad perspective first, man. Like, how do you kind of address how it went from a team and individual perspective? I'm sure you learned a lot, and you guys as a team finished on a pretty high note.
Yeah, I mean this season was by far the coolest baseball experience I've ever had. Even though there was a lot of ups and downs for the team and me personally, the way that we finished it out and winning the conference tournament and making some noise in a regional. I mean, it was really cool, and I'm super excited for next year and all the things that we have the ability to accomplish.
Sean Jenkins with us, East Carolina pitcher. And look, I mean, I don't want to say unfair expectations placed upon you, Sean, but you were a 17-year-old. We were talking to you on the show, and a lot was expected from you from the get-go. And I feel like you handled that as well as any person your age could. So as you look back at it, from the standpoint of where you first enrolled in the fall to now, can you put into perspective how much you've grown mentally, physically over that time?
Yeah, I would say mentally has been the biggest jump for me. Before I got to East Carolina, to be honest, I probably never failed at baseball a day in my life. I come from a small town, and there's not a lot of players around, and I had to learn how to handle failure pretty quickly. Those first couple weeks of the season did not go great, and there was a lot of days that I was struggling just because I care so much about this game. But it forced me to learn how to handle failure, and I think that's one of those things that down the road I'm going to appreciate a lot more than if I would have had a stellar freshman All-American season.
Right. If you would have gone out dominated from pitch one, it would have been one of those things. Obviously, you would have learned a lot, but maybe you learned even more facing some adversity. And you still had a very good season overall. Sean Jenkins with us. You pitched a ton of innings, and we talked about that going into the year as a collective media. Like, how many innings is Sean going to throw? You end up throwing 70 and a third. You make 19 appearances, 12 starts, so a big workload as a freshman. And you pitched a lot in the fall too, in the preseason. So all that adds up. So how important is it this summer to really kind of recover your body and make sure your arm's good, all that sort of stuff?
I mean, it's huge. Now I've got to make sure that I'm getting my body right in the weight room and making sure that all the lost strength and range of motion from throwing throughout the season is restored in my arm. And I think that's the big goals for me this summer is how good of a position can I get my body in.
We always hear the freshman wall. Do you feel like you ever hit that, or was it one of those things I guess overall fatigue, not necessarily arm soreness or anything, but just do you ever felt like you hit that, or is that something you had to overcome at all?
I mean, I felt pretty good throughout most of the year. I mean, our training staff, Hunter, and our strength coach Thunder, like they do a great job. They're super collaborative. Anytime I felt like I was didn't feel that great, the door is always open for that. So I felt pretty good throughout most of the year.
Sean Jenkins is with us fresh off his freshman season with the Pirates and is part of our 23 Club NIL initiative. Appreciate Sean joining us. We talked with Braden, another standout freshman, earlier this week on the program. And look, you guys as a team, it was clear, and I made this comment to Braden, like once you went down to Clearwater, and of course, winning helps. Everybody looked like they're coming together, but it just feels like something clicked that week. Can you put your finger on what happened, whether it be behind the scenes or with you guys as a team that allowed y'all to kind of reach your peak in the postseason?
I think it was just the fact that when you play a long season, sometimes games feel like not that they don't matter, but there's always another one that can be played. And if you have a bad game that day, you can just make it up the next day. But when you get into postseason play, it's pretty much win or go home. Or if you lose that first game in Clearwater, you put yourself in a really bad position. So it was just like it's go time now. Like throw everything that's happened this year out the window and let's just go see what kind of run we can make.
And look, Clearwater's a pretty nice place, and I know in the past Cliff Galvin has allowed some beach time. It sounds like this year you guys didn't get any, which you've always struck me as a pretty serious baseball guy, Sean. So I don't know. What did y'all do? Did y'all just hang out in the hotel room the whole time? What did y'all do to pass the time down there, man?
There was a little bit of downtime, but they scheduled it out to where we had like our breathing sessions and treatment hours, team meals and stuff like that. So there was probably no more than 1 to 2 hours of downtime at a time. And my parents were down there, so anytime that we could go eat or something, I did stuff like that.
So it worked out pretty good. Pirates obviously take home the conference championship. And, man, look, you started two of the biggest games, probably the two biggest games of the season for East Carolina. We'll start first with that, the conference championship against Tulane in Clearwater. So you had started some big games during the season, of course, at UNC and some others as well. How would you describe, going into that contest against Tulane? You knew it was on the line, but tried to just treat it as another game. So how would you describe kind of your nerves and how you approached that game?
Yeah, for me, it's just another game. I've been playing the same game since I was 3, 4 years old, and even though there's obviously big implications behind that game, you can't view it as that. You just have to go out there and do the same thing you've done all year and just execute pitches. And I'm a firm believer, and it's already written. What's going to happen? So what's going to happen? You just got to go out there and do your job.
And I know it was hot down there, and you kind of pitched through that heat. But how much did it help to see your team go out, score a couple runs in that first inning, and then just you were already in attack mode. You've always been that type of guy, but you could really just go after Tulane at that point.
Yeah, that's huge. Anytime your offense puts up runs, especially in the first, it takes pretty much all the pressure off of you because at that point you can fill up the strike zone and you have some room to work with.
And then you start the regional winners bracket game against Coastal, and I know you went into the third inning of that game. I could tell you didn't want to come out. I know you obviously wanted to stay in, and I think 5 hits that game, but like a lot of those were against the shift, CNI singles, and you were pounding the strike zone. I remember. In a big environment for a freshman. So what do you remember about that start? And then how much can you grow pitching, I assume, what would probably be the biggest crowd, in front of the biggest crowd you've ever pitched in front of?
Yeah, it forces you to learn how to be calm for sure, because obviously there's a lot of emotions going into that game. You're excited, and there's the crowd that plays an impact into it. But you just have to be able to stay calm during that environment, because if you let the crowd and the emotions get to you, then that's when you start spraying balls and are not able to have as much success.
From an individual perspective, Sean, what were you most happy with on the mound this year? Like, where do you feel like you grew as a pitcher?
I would say, like I said earlier, just learning how to deal with failure. And no matter how the day before went, no matter if my start was good, no matter if it was bad, my week before and after looked the exact same. It's hard to show up at the facility after, you probably don't have the greatest outing and do all of your work when you necessarily don't want to, but you have to be able to be successful in this game because there is so much failure.
Sean Jenkins with us, East Carolina freshman pitcher, had a really good season year one in Greenville. And look, this is college sports now, Sean. You were one of the guys announced, returning. I don't know if there was ever any doubt about that talking with you, but you seem locked into East Carolina, and I know many of your teammates are as well. A lot of this core returning. There are some guys who have left, and I don't know, just as a player, how do you try and navigate this part of the offseason? Like, you're obviously trying to keep your core together. Are you trying to recruit your teammates to come back? Just what are those conversations like behind the scenes?
I think it's just staying focused on the team because there's a lot of noise and a lot of buzz during this time of the year. There's rumors flying about everything, but I think if you can just stay focused on what you and the team needs to do, it takes care of a lot of it because all of that's just outside noise and buzz that at the end of the day doesn't really matter.
What were those conversations like with AK and Cliff? Like, was there ever any, hey, are you coming back next year? Or was it just like, I know I'm coming back? Like, I don't know. Like, it was a pretty simple
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, I mean, all of them were pretty simple. Like, I love being a Pirate, and I'm locked in on this place, so there was really never any worry.
Sean Jenkins with us. And now the portal, look, guys leave, but you guys have picked up some commitments. Philip and I will talk about that later. But do you try and I know we have a question from a fan later. Like, do you try and help recruit some of these guys? Maybe this will happen more when you're back on campus. But do you try as a current player to try to get some future teammates to join you?
Maybe if I knew them personally, like
Yeah.
if it was someone from back in Hickory or something, but not at this point. I haven't,
Braxton,
been involved
yeah.
in any of that.
Braxton Trammell, a guy you know well, is returned as well. Just what was it like sharing kind of the season with him and a high school teammate? And I know he faced some adversity with the injury, but it had to be pretty cool to have a close friend on the team.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I've known him for as long as I can remember, and he was kind of the one of it. Kind of allowed me to get away from the environment of baseball for a little bit, just because we are really good friends outside of baseball as well. So we could just sit in the dorm and just talk about anything really.
He is Sean Jenkins. I'll tell you what, we'll get a break in, Sean. We'll come back. We will address some questions in the chat. We also got some questions submitted on Hoist the Colors from the fans. Some interesting questions we'll get to about your hats and your go-to karaoke song and some other stuff as well. So we'll have some fun with it, along with some more baseball-related discussion. Sean Jenkins, we'll have more on Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday after this.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Are you ready to tackle those yard and garden projects? Come by East Carolina Tractor and Fleet, your local Coyote dealer, and check out their great selection of residential and commercial Coyote tractors. From zero-turn mowers to compact tractors to skid steer loaders, they've got you covered. Some with 0% financing for qualified buyers. Stop by your hometown Coyote dealer, East Carolina Tractor and Fleet, across from the Pitt County Fairgrounds, or online at ectfleet.com. East Carolina Tractor and Fleet. We dig dirt.
Tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
At Parker's Barbecue, our family has been serving your family for 3 generations.
For that, we say thank you.
Blessing families every Thursday. Kids eat free all day. That's the Parker's way.
Legendary food served from our 3 locations. Always quick, always delicious. That's the Parker's way.
At Parker's, our mission is to impact our customers through Christ-like service in a way that feeds them both physically and spiritually. That is the Parker's way.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
Oh, hey, welcome back. You got here just in time. This is Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday. We're talking with East Carolina pitcher Sean Jenkins, part of our initiative with the 23 Club. Appreciate Sean joining us on this Wednesday edition of the show, final segment with him. He's back home, and we did get several questions for you, Sean. We'll try to run through as many of these as we can. Chuck wants to know, we kind of addressed this earlier, but I don't know if we mentioned it 100%. He says, will Sean be playing in a summer league, or will he rest up for 26? So you are taking the summer off, correct?
Yeah, like I still play catch and work on some things, but I won't be playing anywhere competitively.
And we mentioned earlier, but the innings, obviously, important to stay healthy and not overtax yourself. Spencer Scott with more of a comment that I'll read than a question, but he says, huge year in store for Sean. It was truly impressive to see someone who should be at a high school senior have such poise on the mound in the environments he had to face, both at Clark LeClaire and on the road. So definitely echo those sentiments. And I don't know, did you miss going to prom, Sean, or were you not too worried about it?
Not really. I mean, obviously this year was super fun, and like all of the things that I got to experience with this group, I never would have got to experience in high school. So I would say not really.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, we'll address more of these questions, and you can go as in-depth or as short as you want to. Rooster says, what was Sean's favorite moment from the 2025 baseball seasons? What was your favorite moment?
I would say obviously winning the conference championship was really cool, and then that Conway Regional, just those past 2 weeks was everything I could have ever imagined more. Like that's why you come to East Carolina to play in those environments and those games.
He wants to know also, what are your personal and team goals for the 2026 season?
I mean, as the team, we want to knock down that door to Omaha. I think we have a good group coming back, and I think we're going to get some really good guys in the portal, and obviously we have the coaching staff around us, and we want to get a regional back in Greenville. That regional was really cool, but I know that hosting regionals at East Carolina is the standard, and we need to get back to that. And I would say individually, I was just going to say individually, just try to get as good as I possibly can this summer with all the different pitch design stuff and in the weight room, and show back up this fall and next year with an opportunity to be a solidified starter, and just do whatever I can to help the team win.
And that was kind of his second part of his question. He said, what area of your game do you want to improve on most? Is there, is it command? Is it like secondary pitches? Is there a pitch you want to add, or is that something that you're still looking at this offseason?
For me, like it's definitely just fastball shape and like velocity. I think I need to be more consistent with not cutting it to the bottom of the zone and being able to ride it towards the top, and just obviously trying to throw a little bit harder. And just with the off-speed stuff, they have good shape at times. It's just how consistent can I be with those?
Good thoughts for sure. All right, favorite and least favorite away stadium. So we know Clark LeClaire, your favorite place to play, but how about do you have a favorite and least favorite away stadium?
Wichita was really cool. And then like I threw pretty well at Charlotte, so I guess Charlotte was all right. But nothing compares to the environment of Clark LeClaire. When it gets rocking, it's unlike anything I've experienced. I guess least favorite, I don't really have one. Just show up and play. Don't really worry about it.
Don't worry about the facilities. That's a good answer, man. You're wise beyond your years. Don't want to give any bulletin board material out there. All right, favorite place to eat in Greenville. Do you have a favorite spot?
my parents have a condo near Tiebreaker, so we'll go there some. But it's kind of hard, obviously, being a freshman in the dorms. You don't get out too much. Um,
Maybe next year you can venture out a little more. Tiebreaker's a good
yeah,
spot though.
yeah,
So
that's yeah. It's. I'm a big wings guy,
yeah.
so
Todd
whoever
Dining
has
Hall is
good
your
wings,
favorite. You're a freshman. You got to
yeah,
say it
yeah.
was Todd. Just yeah.
Good old Todd Dining Hall. All right. This one, I don't know if you have an answer to it, but I thought it was funny. What's your go-to karaoke song? So if you have to sing something, any idea what you're singing?
Oh well, we had Pirate Idol this year, which is where they make all the new guys sing on the bus, and I did Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen, so I guess you can go that one, but I'm not a big karaoke guy by any means.
Yeah, I gotta say, you strike me as a non-karaoke guy. Much like myself, I'm not much of a singer, so I try to stay away from that. Purple Pirate wants to know: are you more comfortable as a starter or coming out of the bullpen? So you did a lot of both this year, and had success in both roles. So, what about you? Are you more comfortable as a starter or coming out of the bullpen?
I mean, realistically, for me, I enjoy either one. There's definitely pros and cons of both. Like obviously, the starter, you get more preparation, but the adrenaline rush of coming out of the bullpen is probably unreplicable as a starter. So I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I like either one.
All right, this one may be controversial, but he wants to know what pitcher on the team has the best hitting skills.
I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to go Jake Hunter. I mean, he's the only one that's proven it. I mean, there's a lot of talk about, oh, I can do this, I can do that, but Jake's the only one that's done it. So I guess I have to give it to him.
He almost sprained his ankle getting the hit, but he got the hit. So
yeah, well, hit's a hit. I mean, you can't take it away from him.
This is true. What about, you think you could get in the box and hit a little bit if it came down to it?
I mean, yeah, if I had to. I swung it all right in high school. It's been a while, but I would definitely be open to it.
Is there a pitcher that talks the most about his hitting skills that has yet to prove it? Like, there's got to be one of those guys who's just like, man, if I could hit, I would hit a bomb. Is there one of those guys in the locker room?
Not. I mean, me a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, it's okay to
I've talked with Braxton about it some.
Yeah.
But because I mean, I would definitely say I miss hitting. Now that I don't do it anymore, so I'm not afraid to let people know I hit 4 homers last year.
All right, 4 homers. I want to see Sean Jenkins in the box. I don't think Cliff's going to be too happy about that, but maybe sometime this fall. All right, Tarboro Bill on Hoist the Colors. He says the Savannah Bananas. Do you love them or hate them? Any thoughts on the Savannah Bananas and everything they have going on?
I mean, I think it's great for baseball. Like they're selling out NFL stadiums. I think just for the game development, and getting the youth involved. I think they're great in that regard for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to Boston this offseason. I tried to get some tickets when they're in Fenway, and of course they sold out in like 2 minutes, and it's like $800 to go now. So it's kind of crazy. This is an interesting one. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but he says, what's one rule you would want to see added and one rule you would want to see removed for college baseball? So, I don't know. Any thoughts there?
It wouldn't hurt my feelings if they took the pitch clock away. I'll tell you that. Because I already moved slow to begin with. So there's sometimes I'm like, especially when my hat falls off.
Yeah.
It makes it a little scary because I'm like, I have 5 seconds to get on the mound and throw this. And I don't move quick by any means. So that wouldn't hurt my feelings if that one was gone.
And what's the deal with the glove check? Like, y'all get your glove checked, I feel like, 10 times a game. Like, how annoying is that?
I mean, I don't mind it. It's quick. I understand why they're doing it.
Right.
It's just one of those things that, it's just part of baseball at this point.
Yeah, they do it in the majors as well. So we did have a question related to your hat from Dover Pirate. He says, do you need a tighter hat? So speak on that.
I mean, yeah, most definitely. So the problem is we have so many different hats we'll wear. So when I got my small mediums for all of them for the year, it was just convenient that each time my hat would fall off, it'd be a different hat. So I'd get an extra small for one hat, and then we'd pitch, and then we'd play in the other one the next game, and then I wouldn't have an extra small for that one, and then I had to get an extra small for that. So it's just a process of getting smaller hats for every single one of them.
We'll get it figured out next year. So there's the hat intel from Sean Jenkins. Hopefully, we can keep on the head next year. All right, Airborne Pirate says, what would you tell incoming players that they need to do to succeed based on what you learned this season? So, incoming freshmen for next year, you know, what would you tell those guys?
Just be as consistent as possible. There's going to be days that are going to be hard, and there's going to be days that are really good. But no matter what happens, you just got to be consistent. Show up every day, give it your all, and just do everything you need to do for that day to, develop yourself. So just be as consistent as possible would be my piece of advice.
All right, Pirate 2024, and we've talked about this like on your first appearance, but you can kind of refresh fans. He wants to know why you reclassified up a year and enrolled early in college. So take us through that decision when it went down.
There's a lot of things. Obviously, this place is special, and I felt like it was an opportunity I didn't want to pass up. Everything that Coach Godwin and this coaching staff stands for and what it means to be a Pirate, I felt like who would not want to take this opportunity? And then it just puts me in a very unique position for, I guess my development and with the draft in a couple of years. And it gives me the opportunity to hopefully get my degree done in 3 years, because I was able to take a lot of college classes in high school. So I'm on pace as of right now to graduate in 3 years.
All right, a couple questions on your recruitment as well that kind of go with that. Somebody wants to know, you drive obviously a lot of D1 schools between here or where you are in Greenville. You know, why was ECU the right fit, and then what was Cliff Godwin's message during your recruitment? So basically, why you chose ECU and the coaching staff's message back when that commitment was made.
Yeah, for me, I felt like a person to Coach Pablo and Coach Godwin and AK. When I was talking to the other schools, I just felt like a number, and I felt like I was just another recruit to them. But me and Coach Palumbo and AK had 20-minute long conversations every week, and I felt like it was bigger than baseball. And I would say that was Coach Godwin's message was, not only are you going to develop to a really good baseball player here, but I'm going to make you a better person. And at the end of the day, no matter how long I play baseball, it's going to be gone. And I'm a person, not a baseball player. So I think those were the biggest things for me.
Speaking of being a person, Sean Jenkins with us, ECU freshman pitcher. You are now you're 18, right? No longer 17. Somebody had a question. How does it feel to be 18? So we don't have to talk about you being the 17-year-old college baseball player. And then Ultraviolet says, have you started shaving yet? So we talked about your stash earlier this year. It wasn't the best, but how often does Sean Jenkins have to shave these days?
Not often at all. Every couple weeks to a month, maybe, just so the peach fuzz doesn't get too bad. But not a lot.
That's hilarious. Must be nice. Maybe I don't know. You gonna start growing the stash early for next year?
I might have to. Because this year was not the greatest performance by any means. So.
All right, Rancid Pirate 91 says at times, like every pitcher, fastball can flatten out, and you kind of discussed this earlier. How do pitchers work in the offseason to get fastball movement? So, is that a grip thing? Is that a release point thing? How do you kind of refine that and make that consistent?
I would say there's a lot of things that you can do. You can work on like a sinker grip, which that's something that I started throwing this year, throwing the four seam and like the sinker. And then a lot of that can come from just cleaning up your delivery and being as efficient as possible. And then one of the things we worked on is actually pointer finger dominance over my middle finger, because your middle finger is longer than your pointer finger. So the last thing that's on the ball is your middle finger. So I'm a supinator. So it naturally pulls that seam and causes the ball to cut, or you see the flatten out effect. So trying to keep my pointer finger on the ball as long as possible. That way I can have both fingers and stay behind it. So just stuff like that.
And there's a lot of, details that go into pitching that I think the average fan doesn't realize. And that's this is kind of the time of year. I know you can tinker with stuff in season, and I'm sure you guys did, but this is the time of year you want to work on all that stuff, right? So then it feels natural.
Yeah.
Going to, because you don't want to be on the mound thinking about your finger placement, right? You want to just rip it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the summer and the off season, even the fall, are all those developmental times. So that way you get on the mound in the season, you just go out there and execute your pitches, and there's really not a thought in your head about what you're trying to do.
Makes sense for sure. All right, a couple more things for Sean. We'll get him out of here. And someone wants to know, we already talked about favorite moment of the season, but they also want to know anything big planned for the summer. So do you got any sort of like trips with the family or anything like that?
I think me and my family might try to go to Florida towards the back end of the summer, but I mean, for me, I've just got it. This is a huge training period, so I've got to make sure I'm focusing on that before any vacations happen.
Training, and then you get to have some downtime. Sean Jenkins with us, and walk us through your training regimen. So, like, how often are you hitting the weight room this time of year? Are you getting off the mound at all right now? Or are you just completely taking time out from that? So, like, when does that start to ramp up as well before we get you out of here?
Yeah, so I'm lifting 4 times a week right now, and then I have all of my correctives from our trainer, and then some mobility and some arm care stuff, and then I'm actually going Friday to do like a motion cap assessment. So I've kept throwing bullpen, so I'm ready for that. And once I throw the mo cap on Friday, I'll like shut down for a little bit and then ramp back up going towards the fall. But just getting all that information from that and building the best program for me possible to put me in the position to have hopefully a lot of success next year.
He is Sean Jenkins. Sean, it's been awesome to have you on the show this year. We'll try to get you back in before we wrap up for our summer break in July, so maybe late June when you're back on campus. But I appreciate the time, man, and great stuff as always. And enjoy some downtime this summer if you get any.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. That's Sean Jenkins, East Carolina pitcher. Appreciate him for joining the program again. Everybody support ECU baseball 23club.org. You can go there, donate to the NIL initiative, also Rev Share, starting this summer. So all that is important for the success of the program and keeping talent like Sean, Braden Burris, et cetera, around. So many of those guys returning, excited about the future. And there'll be some new Pirates as well joining the team next year. We'll address that. Pirates getting some commitments on the transfer portal front. Philip Pilkington will rejoin us, and we'll hit on that. When we come back, this is Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday.
Hey, it's Jim Wells again with Wells Roofing and Gutters here in the beautiful community of Lindale, Bedford. At Wells Roofing and Gutters, we believe in quality first, and that's why we use CertainTeed shingles, which are manufactured in Oxford, North Carolina, a local company. In the event you ever do have a claim or a problem with your roof system, they're local and they come and take care of us in a timely manner. We could leave off some accessories and we could certainly save money, but we believe at Wells Roofing and Gutters in installing the correct way per manufacturer requirements, and we warranty your roof both in-house and also with our supplier, who is CertainTeed. For a job well done, no shortcuts taken, and a good quality job on your home, give us a call today, 252-227-8403. We also offer financing, 12 months, no interest, no payments.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Remember, get the podcast of the show on the IBX Media app or where you get your podcasts.
Got it. You don't have to tell me twice. I remember it exactly.
Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. Really fun to talk with Sean Jenkins once again. We'll try to get him back in for our summer break if it lines up to where we can. But awesome segment with him. And enjoyed everybody's questions. Appreciate everybody submitting those. Made for a fun interview as we talk some baseball as well. But Sean, as somebody commented on Twitter, let's see if I can find it. Seatown Pirate says he's going to be a great one. Dude just works. I mean, he's not your average, I would say, college baseball player, certainly for as young as he is, but also just a tremendous work ethic. You could tell, really loves the game and loves being a Pirate. All right, Hunter Corbett says, can Igo grow a beard? We were talking to Sean about his facial hair. I can grow a beard. It's just like kind of patchy because half of it is like blonde and half of it's kind of dark blonde. So it just doesn't look great. So I'd rather not grow a beard. I like growing some stubble. I don't know, Philip, should I grow out the beard? Should I pull a Cliff Godwin and grow a beard one season?
I think you should. Why not? Is there like a weekend coming up that like Erica's going out of town and you're not going? Not trying to get into y'all's personal life, but then where you could grow the beard without her being like, "What are you doing?" Like where she doesn't have to see you for a few days.
Not anytime soon. And I feel like if I did it, I'd have to do it in the winter because like it when I grow it out past a certain point, it just gets itchy.
Oh yeah, day like 3 and 4 of not shaving is the worst. But once you get past the pinnacle,
it's so I'd have to figure it out. Maybe like the downtime. If I really wanted to grow it out, it would be the downtime between like the end of football season and the portal starting and bowl season because I really don't have time to shave during that time. So maybe I just like go full.
Oh man, that's gonna bring up some great pictures from the Christmas party.
Exactly. So like, and then our Christmas family pictures. I just have a full on beard.
Let's do it.
Maybe I'll plan for that. So, and I won't tell the wife about it. She always asks me if I go like 3 or 4 days. She's like, "You need to shave." So I'm just going to keep going this time. Be like, yeah, I'll shave, and then just don't.
That's why I said that you need to find a time she should be out of town.
I know.
I was hoping she was going to have like a girls' trip this summer or something.
She went on one last year, but nothing in the – she is running the Chicago Marathon in October.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be my window. That's the same week ECU plays at Tulane.
But you're going to marathon, right?
It's complicated because I don't want to leave my kids – not to go too deep into what's happening. I don't want to leave my kids with my parents for like 5 days because I'm already having to leave to go to New Orleans on that Thursday. The marathon's Saturday in Chicago.
Sunday, I think.
Is it Sunday? I want to say it's Saturday.
I think it is. New York is ran on a Sunday. I forget. Chicago and New York are only like 2 weeks apart. One's a Saturday, one's a Sunday.
So I'm going to try to figure out a way to get there at least for part of it. But it's tough, because gotta watch
Chicago, the thing is, though, if you do go, there's multiple opportunities to see her. Like Boston's like you start in Hopkins and you finish in Boston. It's like really hard to see them around the course. Yeah. But there's like a middle area in Chicago, and they run in like these little squares that are all attached to each other, so you could go by and see her multiple times. It's actually a really good marathon to spectate.
Yeah, we went to Chicago last year for vacation, and like all those parks and stuff and squares, I think, are all part of it. So. It does seem like it'd be a pretty sweet course to run / view. So maybe I'll try to figure it out. I tell you what, the Pirates beat Tulane on the road. I'll celebrate by going from Mardi Gras area to Chicago.
All right, there you go.
So that'll be the stipulation. All right. Anyways, back to things people care about. Is Parker? I'll just ask this. Parker wants to know, can Philip grow a beard? So we're going to be growing a beard at the same time?
Yeah, I grow one every winter. I do the. When it gets cold, I grow a beard, and then I buzz it down short right before the hockey playoffs, and I grow my playoff beard out, and then I kill it when the Bruins lose. There just wasn't a playoff beard this year, so I just went ahead and went to the goatee. But I can't have the full beard during the summer. Like when I go for a run and stuff, it's just too hot.
Too hot. All right, there's your beard / marathon update. All right, I do want to point out as well before we get to our baseball portal talk, we are running a 50% off special on hoistthecolors.net. I know we have this show. If you're not a VIP member and you think it's about to slow down, I encourage you, go to HTC. You can sign up for 50% off. Huge official visit weeks coming up for ECU football. We've got the baseball portal news coming. You can get 50% off an annual subscription right now on HTC, and this will take you through football season, preseason camp. You'll get all the scoop for the winter portal period, to get all the scoop going into fall ball for baseball if you're a baseball fan. Preseason, who's looking good, all that. Basketball recruiting, we covered all HTC, even more in depth than we do on the show. So check it out, hoistthecolors.net. All right, back to baseball recruiting. We know the names that are exiting the program. The Pirates have started to add some as well. 2 pitchers and an outfielder. We'll go through these one by one. So, Liberty right-hander Joseph Webb, not to be confused with former UAB and Minnesota Vikings quarterback Joe Webb.
And Carolina Panther quarterback / wide receiver / punt returner.
Joe Webb was one of my favorite football players.
Dude, he was so fun to watch. I mean, all the Vikings fans, I never were so ticked when he left. And then I was upset when he left us and went to Houston, and then he finished his career in Buffalo. So, yeah, stud athlete.
He was a baller at UAB, too. He actually made watching UAB football fun, which is hard to do. All right, Joseph Webb, the Liberty pitcher, not the football player, has committed to ECU, 6'1", 215. Now, if you watch his video, he's basically like Danny Bill. He throws like 4 pitches over the top. He also has the sidearm drop down, slurve / running fastball as well, 2-seam fastball that has a ton of movement. So can hit you with like 6 or 7 different pitches, and he pitches really well. Last year, 4-2 with a 3.50 ERA, but you dive deeper into the numbers and they're more impressive. So he gave up 28 hits and just 1 home run in 46 1/3 innings. 51 strikeouts against 20 walks. So clearly a guy who is tough to barrel up. Opponents hit just 179 against him. He was mainly a reliever, so you would figure he would slot in there. The thing I like most about him, though, is he can go multiple innings. Somebody commented he kind of feels the Jake Hunter role. You know, he pitched as many as 5 2/3. 8 of his 18 appearances, 3 or more innings. So a guy who can come in like an Ethan Young in the 4th, 5th, get you to the end of the game potentially. And he's got the connection with Ethan Young. Phillip, he pitched with him for Catawba Valley Community College, and my understanding is that played a big role in his commitment. So ECU gets a really good portal arm, Joseph Webb. I think this guy has a chance to be, and you never know, but just a proven arm like this is a good fit right out of the gate.
Yeah, thanks, Ethan. We appreciate you helping us out there, of course. And, on top of it, that is, I think, one of the crucial things. Anytime you go to a program, you just don't know the culture. But when you have a guy that you've played with before that can call you up and, kind of tell you what it's going to be like to be a Pirate, I think that definitely helps. One of the things you interestingly brought up there is he's got more strikeouts than innings pitched. And he doesn't get barreled up a lot. That is kind of an interesting combination. Usually if you're a strikeout guy, hey, when you do get hit, you get hit, right? Or maybe you're a weak contact guy like Jake Hunter, but you don't get a lot of strikeouts. But the fact that he can do both is really something special. That lets you know that he can pitch in those situations where, hey, I come into a game and there's a guy on third, 1 out, I need to get the strikeout. But then also, if it is a time where you need to keep the pitch count low and you need to pitch contact and get some weak contact, you can do that as well. So that versatility is something that is can be overlooked sometimes. It's really special.
So Joseph Webb was the first to announce his commitment. Now, the first to actually commit, according to my sources, was Thomas Paxton, a Division II pitcher from Belmont Abbey, but another North Carolina native from Waxhaw, North Carolina. He was also recruited by UNC Wilmington and NC State, visited ECU late last week, chose the Pirates, 6'3", 215, 92-94 with the fastball, topping out at 96. He made 24 appearances with Belmont Abbey as the team's closer this past season, logging a team-high 9 saves, 3-2 with a 2.50 ERA, 36 Ks against 18 walks in 39 innings. Also only allowed 28 hits in those 39 innings for a whip just over 1, so really good numbers. Once again, and opponents hit 203 against him. And the most encouraging thing, because you never know quite how these D2 guys, which we're about to hit on another, are going to replicate their success at the Division I level. the most encouraging thing for Thomas is when he pitched in the Coastal Plains League for the Wilmington Sharks, which he's doing again this season. He's made 21 appearances, and this is a league mixed with a lot of D1 players. Over those 21 appearances, 1.13 ERA, 36 Ks against 10 walks in 24 innings, and he's allowed 10 hits, and he's had 8 saves. He's almost got as many saves as hits allowed in Summer League baseball. So I think, again, another guy, I like recruiting players who maybe have proven success at a lower level. It's not always a guarantee, Phillip, but I think with this sample size, definitely a guy you deem worthy of taking, and I think a real chance it works out here that he's a back-end bullpen arm somewhere.
I think so. I love his improvement from his freshman year to his sophomore year. You don't expect him maybe at the D1 level to have quite the success that he had at his sophomore year, but you don't need that right out of the jump. You know, if he can continue to improve at the rate he's still improving, this guy, we talked about it before the show, could potentially be a closer maybe in 2027 for East Carolina if he's still here, if he makes that same jump. And like you said, you know, the Coastal Plain League, it's not the Cape Cod League. We all know that. But there is a handful of Division I players. I mean, heck, look at the Greenville Yard Gnomes. They are part of that league, and you have guys like Big Mike playing there as your everyday catcher. So, look, you know, he's got confidence in himself on the mound, and yeah, he might not come out and be Ethan Young. He might be Ethan Young. I don't know, but even if he's not, look, this bullpen needs depth, and this one just needs guys that you can go out there and trust to throw strikes. That's one of those things. It seems like he throws a lot over the black, and that's what you need nowadays because, I mean, if you're not throwing competitive pitches, it doesn't matter, and this guy goes out there and he competes batter in and batter out.
We were talking a few days ago, and we said that one of the key additions ECU had to make in the portal, not only relief pitching, but an outfielder, specifically a center fielder, where they go to Millersville, another Division II program, and pluck a really interesting player. Now, I don't know how to 100% pronounce this last name. Sabater. Sabater? That just doesn't feel right. Jeff Sabater.
Maybe it's Sabater?
Sabater, maybe. That sounds a lot better than Sabater. Jeff Sabater. We're going to go with that. Left-handed hitter from Millersville, plays center field, leadoff guy. High contact, high speed, high on base guy. Hit 363 this past season, 491 on base percentage. He stole 39 bags. In 2024, he hit 373 with 57 steals. And another guy that has had success in the Summer League, Cal Ripken Summer League. Again, not a high level of Summer League, but still you're facing some D1 talent. He hit 381 in that league with, I think, 20-something steals as well. So left-handed hitter, 5'10". If you watch his video, he looks just like Lane Hoover in terms of the way he swings the bat. He's almost like flicking it more so than trying to drive the baseball. Just knows how to hit, make contact. He walked more than he struck out. So I think this guy, we'll see how it translates again, but he's going to be either a top-of-the-order hitter or a bottom-order on-base guy. I think he's got a chance to be your potential center fielder, although Alex Peltier will have something to say about that as well. But I like this pickup a lot.
Yeah, you got to love the speed. You know, that's sort of the reasons you feel like he could play center field. When you have that good first step, I mean, obviously you got to have a good glove to go out there, but when you have that good first step, puts you in position maybe not to have as good of a glove. Now, I have no idea what this kid's glove's like. Obviously never seen him play. And, you know, he's not going to steal as many bags in D1 as he did in D2, right? The pop time is going to be a lot better for catchers, a little more velocity on the mound. But when he's stealing bases at that high of a rate, he's still going to be very much a threat to steal bags, right? It's not like his numbers are going to go from 50 down to 5. His numbers are going to go from 50 down to 25. So just an opportunity. By hearing this, I get saying top of the lineup, I would not hate this guy in the 9-hole. If you can get him on base, top of the lineup, maybe steal second and start an inning with a guy in scoring position. Big opportunity. Of course, you don't know exactly what your lineup's going to look like next year, but man, that outfield depth, like you said, we talked about it yesterday. Have the ability to move guys around. Have the ability to put multiple guys in multiple spots. He just brings that much more competition at center field. Braden Burris and with Alex Peltier. So big opportunity here for the Pirates, and that was one of our big things we needed to add. So you're always looking to add more as you go on. But if this is our last outfield addition, significant piece, I feel pretty good about it.
So 3 good additions, I think, on the portal front for ECU as the roster will continue to develop. We'll keep you updated throughout June as this thing continues to build along with the returning players. We'll hit more on that as a few guys were announced yesterday as returning as well all social media when we come back. Final segment on the way, Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Your roof is a vital part of protecting your home and family from dangerous storms and hurricanes. At Assist Roofing, we install and maintain metal roofing that provides precise protection. Add value to your home while lowering utility costs with a fortified roof to last a lifetime. With 0% financing, grants, and Energy Star Green Roofing tax credit available. Call us to schedule a free consultation so you can weather any storm with confidence.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
If you are interested in living longer and living stronger, Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine is accepting new patients for a limited time. Finding a caring physician can be a challenge. Dr. Billy Smith is board certified in physical medicine and lifestyle medicine and has been practicing in the area for many years. Call for an appointment now to Eastern Physical and Lifestyle Medicine, 252-364-1108 in Greenville. That number again is 252-364-1108.
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252. We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here. Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday. All right, Cameron's got a question. I promise you, Cameron, I have not forgotten about it. He says, Igo, did you do any more research on the House settlement? Asked a question yesterday about how basketball schools may have a better money advantage than schools with football programs. So I have done some research. I am ready to talk about it a little more, Cameron, but we just don't have the time today. The Sean interview was great, so we kept that going. Tomorrow we are going to talk with a BYU writer from 24/7 Sports, Jeff Hansen, but then we will discuss the House settlement, how it affects ECU tomorrow when we have more time, because right now we just don't have the time. But I promise we're going to get to it, and we may get into it Friday with Bobby as well. All right, Lane Smith says Liberty pitchers haven't really panned out. Not too sure I'm excited about Joseph Webb. Then he says, oh, never mind. So maybe he was sold by the numbers. But Liberty pitchers, Nick Moran is confirmed to come back as a pitcher next year for the Pirates. He has 1 year of eligibility left. He is another arm that has thrown some significant innings in college last year, 30 2/3 innings for the Pirates. Here's the interesting thing about Moran, who I would say definitely had a up and down season. But you look at his raw numbers, he actually allowed less hits per inning and struck out more guys per inning than Bradley Zayak, who I know some people are up in arms about losing. And opponents hit 220 off Nick Moran. Opponents hit 273 off Zayak. Now, you could argue, of course, Zayak's got a higher ceiling. I wouldn't disagree with that. But, like, Moran can be a solid option. It's just you got to figure out what his role is, and I think he needs some confidence as well. So, like, I kind of like that Moran's coming back, Philip, because I think it gives you something to work with. They just have to figure out what his role is going to be.
Yeah, I think there were so many new faces last year. It was just kind of hard to figure out really anybody's role. And I think the Towers and Tolik issues, kind of led to that a little bit as well. So, look, he was great at the beginning. You mentioned he had an up and down season. It wasn't a roller coaster. It was up, and then it was down. But if we can get back to what he was at the beginning, there was a time, he had pitched, 18, 20 innings, and his ERA was down there right around 1. So, his start of the year was really good. This is a guy who is going to be a depth piece, right? He's not going to come out and be your set-up 8th inning guy probably, but I think with a full offseason with AK, we've seen what he's done with transfers in the past when he gets that full offseason with him, after 1 year of seeing him. And, the guys have really developed well under Austin Knight. So I think this is good. Like I said, this is a guy that maybe you don't have to rely on week in and week out. It's a guy that can be there. And, I think – is the ceiling, like you said, it's not through the roof, but it's definitely higher than, some other guys.
So I'm looking at the numbers. Yeah, his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 appearances, he allowed a combined 6 hits and gave up a combined 2 runs. And then after that, it was a lot of hits and a decent amount of runs. So try to figure out what led to that success early in the season. I know that he had missed some of the preseason or fall with, coming back. I don't know if it was soreness or mechanical or what he was working on, but, like, he had not pitched a ton. So maybe just another healthy offseason can help out Nick Moran. But he's another arm that the Pirates will have back next year, along with Sean Jenkins, who joined us, and Ethan Norby, and then some other guys as well anticipated to return. We're out of time on this Wednesday. Again, shout out to Sean Jenkins. Appreciate his time. Go support the 23club.org for NIL opportunities with ECU baseball. We will be back Thursday. We'll talk about our newest opponent preview. We'll look at the BYU Cougars, who could be the best team on ECU's schedule this fall. We'll dive into them. We'll talk house settlement and more on Thursday at 12 noon. We'll see you then on Hoist the Colors.